Maguire said the honour, bravery and selflessness of our servicemen and women and those who deface it are showing deep disrespect to those who fought for the country. 10 city council wards with the highest levels of child poverty will be the focus on action to help the poorest families in Glasgow. Work will take place with parents who have a child aged 5 or under to try and prevent them from sinking into further financial problems. A project called Glasgow's Child Poverty Pathfinder has already started in the Southside, Central, Carlton and Govan. Life expectancy in Scotland has increased slightly for both males and females according to new figures from National Records of Scotland. The life expectancy for 2021-2023 was 80.9 years for females and 76.9 years for males compared to the estimate for 2020 to 2022, which is an increase of about 14 weeks for males and 7 weeks for females. These figures are still down on where they were prior to the COVID pandemic, and Scotland continues to have a lower life expectancy than England and Wales. 3 different marches have taken place in London with thousands of people joining, which focused on the UK's summer riots and the deaths of people in police custody. An annual event by United Families and Friends campaign took place in Trafalgar Square, remembering those who have died in police custody, and was attended by hundreds, including the family of Chris Cabba. Demonstrations took part between Victoria Station and Whitehall, organised on behalf of Tommy Robinson, which aimed to support those jailed over the UK riots. A counter-protest also took place. And now for African news. A court in Uganda has sentenced Lord's Resistance Army commander Thomas Kwoyeli to 40 years in prison after a landmark war crimes trial due to his role in the group's 2-decade reign of violence. The sentence was announced on Friday the 25th of October by Michael Ilubu, the lead judge. Justice Duncan Gasagwa, one of the 4 judges, said the convict played a prominent role in the planning, safety and actual execution of the offences of extreme gravity. And that's the latest from Jambo Newsroom. I'm Andrew Bainey.
Meet Sophie and Craig, stepping up to tackle climate change by car sharing to work.
Also, we're doing it to keep costs down.
Half the fuel means half the cash.
A dynamic duo if ever I saw one.
Can you see a parking space?
Together, they're helping to drive down Scotland's transport emissions.
Plus, Sophie's got great chat.
Sure. Do it for yourself and our planet. Search Let's Do Net Zero to learn more.
Across the World Wide Web, on your mobile devices, on social media platforms, this is Jambo Radio! www.jamboradio.co.uk. We are multilingual. We are conversational in the languages you best understand. We are Jambo Radio! Jambo Radio, inspiring transformation.
Hello, this is TouchPoint with Tayo, and welcome to the show where everything matters. And we're on Jambo Radio Scotland. We ain't changing anything. We are here, and I'm your host, Tayo Oweye. And on TouchPoint, we engage Africans issues, Africans in Africa and Africans in diaspora. We explore vital issues about them and educate minds, and also address trendy issues. As you may have known, time have changed. Daylight saving has come into effect, and we had moved 1 hour behind West Africa and 5 hours Eastern Standard Time in the US. And so we start at 7 here in the UK. It will be 8 o'clock West African time, and it will be 3 o'clock at the Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining. And today on TouchPoint, we are still discussing Black History Month. And I feel motherhood is an essential issue to be discussed. And we're talking about the joy of motherhood today and newborn care in the diaspora. And I have my guests joining me also from live, but in Glasgow. She's a HR personnel a wife, and a mother. And I have Peculiar Tonaria here with me. Peculiar, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing okay. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Can I call you Pex?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So, how's been your day? How's the baby? How's the house? How's the African soldier?
Well, today's been great. Today, my friend's baby turned 1 today, so
Oh,
we're out
wonderful.
partying for a while. Yes, but everyone is
Hey.
doing okay. Oh, thank
Okay,
God.
cool. So viewers, listeners, you can join us on our conversation on Jambo Radio Scotland social media handles. Watch live as you're watching right now on YouTube, Jambo Radio Scotland. Still the same. A link on Facebook, Jambo Radio Scotland, and if you are on Twitter, which is X, you can also get across jamboradio.scotland. You can email at info at jamboradio.co.uk. But you can also call the studio. Let me just, in case you want to call the studio, it's 0141 530 2787. But you can also get across to us via WhatsApp. Make a call also via WhatsApp. Will be on 0745 990 6822. Thank you for joining, and send us your comments, send us your contributions on the joy of motherhood and the newborn care in the diaspora. So, Peculiar, as usual, I like to start off with my guest with some questions of reflection. So, I want you to think about 3 words that can capture your experience of motherhood so far. It could be share words of, it could be about joyful, funny, or even mixed emotions about caring for a newborn. What would be those 3 words for you?
So I would say sweet, and I also say I would say bitter per se, but also scary because you're in charge of like a whole newborn. Like you have like a life you're in charge of. So I would say sweet and scary at the same time. The mixed feeling.
Sweet, scary. The third one?
I'll probably say amazing.
Amazing. So if you look at this sweet, scary, and amazing, why did you choose sweet first?
Because the joy you have when you're holding your baby, you're like, I made this baby, it's just so sweet. You're like, this my baby is so beautiful, that kind of thing. But then it's it's so scary because you're like, is baby breathing? Because when my baby was born, I had to check every 5 seconds if the baby was breathing. I was like, are you breathing? Is he sleeping well? Is he okay? So it's like you're just nervous you're like everywhere at the same time.
Okay, the second word.
Which was what? Amazing, yeah.
Okay, amazing. Amazing is the third one. Sweet, you had actually covered sweet and scary. So amazing.
Yes. Babies are a joy that you give from God. So when you have the life in from you, like, wow, I give birth. It's honestly a sweet, bitter experience. I won't say bitter per se, but it's just mixed feelings because you're happy and then you're like sad because no words to describe it, honestly. Honestly, no words.
Wonderful. No words to describe the joy of motherhood. I tell you. Is there one word that can capture the most unexpected part of being a mom for you? One word, the unexpected part of that you become a mother. That's great. That's good. I love such a interruption. This is good. Just leave them. It's a life stuff. So what word captures for you the most unexpected part of being a new mom?
What word? I would say recovering from self-identity, because you get to discover some part of you that you didn't know you actually had. It's like a whole different experience when you're a mother, because you have to make sure that you're in check and the baby's in check.
Wow. So let's go to your new beginnings. Let's starting off as a mom. So what were some of the first things that you noticed or felt about your newborn?
You like in what aspect? What aspect are you talking about?
So when you held the baby, what were the things that you just felt holding your baby? What were those feelings of holding the baby?
So normally I always get so scared of holding a newborn baby. Like when my elder sister gave birth, I didn't hold her baby till maybe 4 days after. So when I was out of the theater and they told me to hold my baby, I was so scared that I would drop the baby. But then, you just relieve that this baby is my baby, and then it's joy, honestly. Even if you be feeling sad at some part because you're all alone in the world, in UK, without any mother support or family support apart from your husband, but then it's just a sweet experience at that moment that you brought up the baby into the world.
Yeah, wow, wonderful. So how did you prepare for the first days with your baby, and how did they compare to your reality? Your preparation was one, then the reality.
So my first few days, I literally called all my aunties and told them that they didn't tell me anything about motherhood. They all lied to me, because you see a newborn baby, you're like, oh my God, my ovaries, I want a baby. And then you're in reality that you have a baby to take care of. And I think the first few days, my breast milk didn't come out. And wow. I said I wasn't getting my baby formula. There's nothing wrong with giving baby formula, honestly, but I want my baby to have my breast milk. And my baby was 3.7 when he was born. So the first few days that I didn't have any breast milk come out, maybe now we dropped to 3.6. So I was I think it's my fault. I should have been prepared. I should have been pumped. Self-blaming, honestly. So I blamed myself a lot at that time.
Oh, so how did you overcome all those? The reality. So how did you navigate that reality?
Well, the good thing was that when I got back from the hospital, my mother-in-law came to the house. So, and also before then, I had a church member, Sister Yesterday, come in, also guide me on, how to position the baby to breastfeed. So I actually had some help. I wasn't really alone at some point. I had some help, people around me. You have to do this, take this. A lot of advices. Don't do this, don't do that. But honestly, I would say what works for you, follow your instinct as a mother, But it's important you actually have help, people around you guiding you.
Yeah. So if you look at the healthcare system, how has the healthcare system here, especially, helped you with your motherhood journey, but especially in the context of Scotland, Glasgow, or UK in general? What's where your how would you look at that journey within the healthcare system? How did you navigate it?
Okay, within the healthcare system, I'll say they did an amazing job. From the midwife to the health visitor, because they're literally checking on you, the vitamins, are you okay? Have you taken your meds? When you go for the appointments, any challenges? So you're all in check. People, it's nice that people actually know what they are doing at that point. So I think the healthcare system here I'll give it 100%, because you feel that you're in safe hands. And then there's a number as a pregnant lady that you can call in case maybe something goes wrong. And they just take you straight to emergency. No need to wait.
Wow.
So it just it's perfect from everything. So I think there's one time I wasn't feeling too well and I went to the hospital. I was pampered, I was taken care of, honestly, and I didn't have to wait or stress myself or anything. I just was attended to, and that's on period.
Wow.
And it was
wow. I can see I can see the joy all over your smiles and the face of that it's good to be a mother. So you are probably encouraged to have 6 or 5 or what?
What?
Right?
I'll say my mental health. Nowhere. No.
So if you're looking at the bonding that you have with your the connection you have with your baby, can you share what are there any unique ways that you connected with your baby?
So I think one of the safest ways to breastfeeding, because when you're breastfeeding your child, they stare at you right into their eyes. I think they can look at your soul. So like that's the best time to connect to them, speak to them, sing to them. I think that's the best time I say like 1 or 2 prayers to my baby, when we're talking, and then he's touching your face, trying to identify you. That's an amazing way for me, honestly. That's like one of the best ways I bond with my baby. That's breastfeeding.
Let me take you back. While you were during the pregnancy phase, how did you bond with the baby within?
So what I honestly did was that I would put my hand on my tummy. I would probably like there's this song I like to sing by Somisola Bolafon, and that's a song I actually normally sang, in my tummy when my baby was in my tummy. And then we just sing, read the book. I don't read the Bible. Some days I do, but we'll just sing, talk to each other. I'll say nice things to him. I told God that there are things I want my baby to, features I want my baby to actually have. And then I wrote it down in my diary, and I was like, okay, everything ticked off when my baby came through. So
wow,
we just
amazing. So you've made mention of a song that you sing. Are there any stories or traditions that you've started with your newborn now?
So I think that coming from my background, I still am very intentional about my baby. Like coming from both parents are divorced, so I think that people that come from broken homes, sometimes the love could be one-sided, right? Maybe from the father's side, the father was giving more love than the mother, or the mother was giving more love from the father. And I told myself that I want to make sure that my baby gets everything that they deserve, everything that they need. They will not actually need to lack. They will actually lack anything at all. So doing my 100% with my baby. So by bonding, taking time to notice every little mark, every little thing in my baby's body. I know.
So what are those? What are some of the daily routines that you have with your newborn that brings joy and laughter to you? Some mothers are out there, or intending mothers are out there, and they want to probably learn from you the routines that you have. They can also learn how to create that routine that brings joy to you when you are caring for your newborn, your baby.
I think one of the routines I actually like is when we wake up in the morning, and then he just wakes up with a smile in his face, and then you're like, oh, this is such a beautiful smile. And then you take him to breastfeeding. Like I said, I think that breastfeeding is an important part of pregnancy, because that period, baby is in a safe zone. You're just focusing on him, and he's focusing on you, and you are just staring each other's eyes. Just like a love scene. Like a mother's love is unconditional. I don't think anything can be compared to it. But then it's just all of your love going out there to this baby boy, baby girl, and you just everything you do with love. The way from the feeding to the bathing to the taking care of to the change, everything.
So you've made mention of some of those daily routines. What do you think your baby, little things that your baby does that you just look and say, oh God, what a beautiful thing that makes you laugh?
I would say he smiles and his nose. He has my mother's nose. So whenever I meet my mother, I just look at him.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, my mom. Wow. But it's the way he smiles for me. I love the way he smiles.
Wonderful. So you said something about the mother's love. What of the father's love?
First of all, I'll give a big shout out to major supportive men in the family. They are doing 100. They are actually the ones working behind the scene. And I'll say to all upcoming mothers and intending mothers that one of the best things you can actually have is a supportive husband or a supportive partner beside you, because you will need one. The pregnancy, when you give birth. So one of the things that I didn't like in the healthcare system was that in the maternity ward, there was no microwave. So when my husband brought food to the hospital, pepper soup, like normal pepper soup for pregnant mother doesn't give birth, it came out cold.
Wow.
We couldn't warm it. So I actually had to have cold pepper soup. But apart from that, everything was 100 with the food. But like I said, I don't mind if they could actually add like diversity of food in their breakfast menu, because where I'm from, Nigeria I'm from, we're used to pepper soup, pap. But here it's more of like tea and toast, lasagna. So I'm like, what am I going to do with all of these? It was.
You want heavy food?
It's not heavy food. I would say it's heavy food per se, but I used to pepper soup. What would boost your breast milk? But I was getting more of tea, lasagna, toast. I actually had to adapt at some point, but I honestly prefer they could actually include like more of diverse meals in their menu. I don't know if that's possible, but that won't be a bad idea.
Okay, so in all of this, if you reflect back to the days, you're being a mother, what were those things that you had earlier on? The ideas of motherhood that you had earlier on, specific ideas about motherhood that you had earlier on, and how did it change? How was that change for you?
So I'll say one particular one in my mind was that they say when a baby clocks 6 months, you can make diverse of food, for baby puree. No, you miss.
Okay.
Puree stuff, baby videos. So 6 months, I was making these. My baby was quite stiff. Like you would give him open his mouth, baby. You have a baby from to suffer, and he said, so I tried to, make it more appealing to the eyes, but so he didn't like it.
Wow. So how did you navigate that? In terms of you, that period of conversion. So what were the things going on through your mind, and how did you settle it? Hello, Pekule, are you there?
So at some point, I thought it was my fault more.
Okay. At this point, we'll go for a short break, and we'll be back. Viewers, listeners, stay tuned.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Won't you go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere? Go tell it on the mountain. Hey, Jesus Christ, yeah, he is. Hey, shout it from the rooftop, shamelessly, right where the neighbors be. Now they all know that, thankfully, he did that thing for me. When I think about him, I get so overwhelmed that he gave everything for me. I gave him nothing and still he adored me. Now all I wanna do is tell his story, cause he's a chain breaker. If you got something in your way, he's a way maker. If you woke up feeling depressed, he's a day changer. If you know what I'm talking about, I wanna hear you shout and go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Hey, ooh, whoa, you got the world and you gave it away. Rich in the spirit, no regular pay. Out of the pit like you out of the grave. Even boxes declaring your praise. No Ricky Bobby, but I lift my hands to a baby. He rode a donkey, this ain't no Mercedes. I live forever, so you can't delay me. That he's a chain breaker, chain breaker. If you got something in your word, he's a word maker. If you woke up feeling depressed, he's a dead changer. If you know what I'm talking about, I wanna hear you shouting, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the chain breaker, over the hills and everywhere. Go if you will tell it on the breath, he's a changer. Jesus know what I'm talking about, I wanna hear you shouting. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is.
Yo, welcome back from the break, and thank you for staying tuned. Still have my guest joining me in the Jumbo Radio Scotland studio live from the city of Glasgow, and we're still talking about Black History Month, the joy of motherhood and newborn care in the diaspora. My guest, Peculiar Tonaria, HR personnel, and a wife and a mother, is here. And Peculiar. Okay. So if we have comments, opinions, and questions online, you can just kindly post it, and we will be dealing with that right now. And is she live yet? Not around. Okay, so as we wait for our guest to join, if you have any comments concerning motherhood, the joy of motherhood, even if you're a father, I mean, you've lived with a mother, a mom, your mom, grandmom experiences, kindly just share it, send them across. You can also give us a call via the WhatsApp line at 0745 990 6822, or you make a direct call on 0141530287, and we're here to take your comments and your question, and it so Pex.
Yes.
Okay, so I was just about to read some comments online. Kemi Shola said, motherhood is amazing. As she has rightly said, it's the most surreal feeling in the world. I noticed there were some connection issues earlier on, but let's go into the challenges and the joy you had in between those challenges in terms of motherhood. So what has been one of the more challenging parts of motherhood for you, and how did you find joy despite those challenges or that challenge?
So I would say one of the challenging things about motherhood that I have faced is not being patient.
Wow.
Like, how should I put it? So when you're a mother, there are certain qualities you actually have to become, because it's like on the job training. You're not prepared for it. I think no one is actually ever prepared for motherhood. It just happens. I want to believe so. For some people, they're actually prepared. Some people, it just happens. And it could be the baby's just crying, and you don't know why the baby is crying. So sometimes when my baby was way younger, He wakes up in the middle of the night and he's screaming on top of his voice. And then he's just shouting. You're pacifying him, but he's not calming down. He's just screaming. At that point, you're thinking of so many things. What could be wrong? And when I tried to like even put breast in his mouth, he refused it. I'm like, how would you refuse breast milk? At the same time, I was panicking. I started praying. I was like, what is wrong? God help me. Because at some point, our mother would be clueless about what is really wrong with the baby. You cannot really say what is really, because you're not a doctor to know, or maybe something his stomach is pain. They can't talk. That's the problem. If babies could talk, I think it would be so much easier, but they can't describe if they are in pain, if they just need to hug them. I think that's one of the part that scares me the most, because they have no voice of their own, just tears, or loud voices rather, and they're just screaming, and you're just thinking, is he hungry? Does he want water? Should I feed him?
Is he praying?
Is he trying to sleep? So
Should
I
I
think
join?
that's one of my challenges.
Should I join him in this prayer session or things like
Day,
that?
I've actually joined him to cry. He was crying, I was crying, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And since then, I treat mothers now with so much respect. Honestly, if I see a mother now, I'm like, oh, I understand. I can relate.
Okay, so in terms of that moment of cries and things like that, share with us just one thing that probably it may have looked as accidental or something like that you did that just resolved the issue.
So I think during this season of weaning, my baby slept and his face was swollen. When I woke up, his right eyes were swollen, his face was swollen, and a lot of thoughts, crossed my mind. And I asked my husband, does his face look okay? He's like, yes. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not looking okay. And it's like, it's okay. I said, no. I called the hospital ASAP, and they told me, oh yeah, bring him. And I carried him. I didn't even care. I canceled my shift that day, and I rushed to the hospital. And I was like, but when I got there, it's reduced, so it made it look as if I was crazy at that point.
Wow.
But at the same time, yes.
So in terms of finding joy in the midst of this challenging thing, what usually gives you joy? In that one particular thing, what gave you joy despite that challenge?
That he was okay, that nothing was wrong. So they said I could probably be an allergy, or maybe it's the way he slept. But then he wasn't crying, so I felt relieved that there was nothing really wrong with him. Maybe it was just me being paranoid, but he was really very okay.
Wow.
And I felt better that he was honestly okay.
Is there any specific moment that when you felt that the rewards of motherhood made up for, in quotes, the hardship?
So I think they are like milestones when your baby start clicking, then you just see yourself, being so happy. And so I think one of them was when my baby started crawling for me. You see him trying to, move his body, trying to crawl, and then you tell him, crawl now. You're not trying to support him, but then he's not, he's not moving his body, he's not even, but the first day I saw him crawl, I literally screamed, like, there was so joy in my heart.
Wow.
When I see him hitting new milestones, I'm like, okay, my baby did that. That's my baby. I'm like, okay.
So if you're going to have a list of key people that are actually supported, more like the support system that you've talked about the healthcare system that really provided quite enormous support for you. But who are the other key people that formed your support system, and how have they helped you through this journey?
So, almost a big major shout out to my husband, Joshua.
Shout out to you.
African soldier. Honestly, I would say he's the best of the best. Let's look up. He's been really, really, really supportive because throughout my pregnancy, from my day one to the last day, I vomited.
Wow.
I was vomiting throughout. There was no break for me, honestly. And that moment, it's important that when you're in that stage, find someone that can support you. It doesn't have to be your partner, but someone that will be there for you through the good days and the bad days because it's honestly a big thing. Then also my mother-in-law, she was there. She came from London to be there for me. My church member, Sister Yetunde, Dr. Tayo, he came with
Which one of
family, to take care of me. And then my friends, Buki, Oidamola, my sisters, a lot of people came through for me during my pregnancy and when I gave birth. So too many names to mention.
Wow. So so if you think about motherhood, how do you think motherhood has strengthened your bond with other women in your life?
I'll say yes, because I see my mommy differently. So when my mommy came for the Omugo parts, I would
This
just
is Omugo because we have so you mentioned Omugo. So what is it? How would you explain it to our viewers in Scotland here who are not from your part of the world, Nigeria? What does it mean?
So I'll say it's pampering. I'll say it's a pampering stage for both the mother and the child, mostly the mother.
Okay.
So I think Omugo is more literally like taking the baby, let the mother rest,
Who does it more?
giving her food to eat.
Okay. Who does the? Is it your who is in that system of Omugo?
So it could be your mother-in-law, it could be your mother, it could be your sister, it could be anybody that actually has the experience of taking care of someone that's just giving birth. It can't just be anybody. Someone that is experienced with children and grandchildren. I want to believe so.
Okay, so
Yes.
so in what ways would you say you now bond with other women? I mean, if you want to outline and explain in those ways, so you've said that now when you think about motherhood and the connection you have with other women, in what other ways aside from your mother-in-law or from your mom, those outside of your family circle, how have you been bonding with them?
So I have a community of friends that literally all of us have babies. So when we go out, we're just dissing off, oh, my baby has done this milestone, my baby is this, my baby is that. Everyone is just talking about their babies at the moment. But then at that time, it's a safe space for you to say, oh, I'm struggling with this. How do I overcome this thing? Because I honestly feel that postpartum is real. Is honestly real. I think like the first 3 days or 4 days after I gave birth, I had a bit of postpartum. I wouldn't say postpartum, but I actually did have a bit of postpartum depression because at some point I was feeling that I was a bad mother already when I just began the whole stage of motherhood. And then I would call my mother and I would cry, and I don't like, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire. But it's something I was like really dealing with at that moment. I was feeling so terrible as a mother because I was curious about motherhood. And I got to tell myself that it's on the job training. You don't need to feel bad for something you don't want to honestly know. And during that time, one has to be intentional about themselves. So I found myself lost more of taking care of my baby than myself. So for example, maybe I would need a new clothes, but I'm like, oh, look at that fine dress for my baby. She gets, I buy for my baby, not for me. But at the same time, one has to be intentional about taking care of themselves and the baby. But then I have a community of friends that we all have babies and we can talk to somebody if we are going through something. Or better still, my health visitor actually comes and tell me quickly, how are you? Talk to me, how are you feeling? And then if I actually have any challenges, I honestly do tell her, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. How can I overcome this? So she told me, you know what? Drop the baby at home, take a stroll, walk, take some fresh air. So I think that I'm blessed to have a community of friends that I can reach out to anytime I'm facing something.
Wow. So how do you take care of yourself? as a newborn mother? Some mothers are out there having some struggles in life in terms of managing and in several parts of the world. But how do you manage to take care of yourself? You still have your cheeks chubby, you have your face smiling, all the cheeks are there. In fact, I'm going to ask you a question now, but how do you take care of yourself?
Well, to take care of yourself, you need to be intentional. Like, it's hard work because you're more focused on the baby. And then it's important that you remember that you're not just a mother, you're also a wife. And you also owe it to yourself and to your marriage to, be focused both ways. But one thing I do is that when I feel overwhelmed about being a mother, I drop my baby in their house. I take a walk. I just put some headset on, take a walk, and breathe in some fresh air.
Wait,
And
drop your
myself,
baby in the house with the dad?
with my husband. Yes. I just take a walk. And get some fresh air. And also, I think joining communities, like in my area, we have a book blog and a breastfeeding community that you could just meet communities of mothers to people that are also giving birth, going through what you're going through at the same time with you, and then just speak. It's more like therapy, speak about your challenges you're facing at that moment. And then when you hear from people that actually gone through this process, right, it will also help you know, oh, I have to do this. But during that stage one has to be intentional about themselves. Go make your nails look good. It's important to look good, because it's like discovering being a mother is like rediscovering yourself. It's a new identity totally. So you have to understand that this is a new you, but don't let who you were just die down. Combine it both. Make your hair, your lashes look good. Looking good is good business.
I love the way you actually described your roles and responsibilities. You are a mother. You are, what came to mind is like, you are a baby girl. You are also a wife. So you are also a wife. So, but you know what? I want to ask, what were those things that you were doing before motherhood that had to stop when you became a mother?
So one of the things I like to stay out late. So I had to stop staying out late at night because of the baby. I like to jive. I'm more of a party person. I'm an extrovert, so I like going out a lot. So now I have a baby. It's a bit more reduced than before, obviously, but then I think honestly I won't really say a lot has changed. But then I'm an outgoing person, so a lot that's been coupled up a bit. I don't really go out like that, just that because of the baby, and then the night time. So nothing really has changed, honestly.
Do you love to dance?
Just balance. Me. Hey God, if I enter the stage, everybody will pause. Like everybody will pause. And I take over. What? You know how David danced? I'm sure that I can dance from that David in the Bible.
So as that as mother taking like pause that dancing peculiar, or it has increased it?
No, it's 100%, especially in church, yeah. So when I'm dancing, I give my baby to the next person that's with me. That's what I can tell the person. I've got to go dancing because what God has done for me, only me that know. It's only me and my family that know. Nobody else knows. So I have to, just be glad in Him.
Okay, so in terms of sharing your heritage with your child as they grow, how do you plan sharing those heritage with your child as it grows?
So I married a Yoruba man, and obviously I cannot speak Yoruba for 1 second. So I think that I really don't know much about Yoruba culture, but I guess that's what the Yoruba husband will play when the time like when the time comes, maybe we start speaking the language or not the songs. But for my own side, my mom is an Akwa Ibom woman, right? And almost all my life I've lived in Akwa Ibom. That's for you. And I sing their songs, I speak their languages. So when I'm with my baby, most times, I sing the song to him. I sing the song and tell him, oh, this is this. I gave him a video name. Odudu Obasi. This is the power of God. So
Powerful.
so I think that the father also will come in and say, oh, this is how Yoruba people do this. This is how they do this. But I think it'll be mixed both ways because I really can't say anything about Yoruba. But from my own part, where I've been all my life. So I'm going to try and mix it up and tell him this and that when he's of the age.
Okay, future singing. You are in Scotland. How? So it means you're looking at Yoruba culture, Ibibio culture, and the Scottish culture. How do you intend to mix it and probably have a hybrid? Because all of these cultures are also quite good. They have things that you could also tap into. So how do you hope to merge or probably have I don't know whether you're going to have a hybrid or anything like that. So how do you intend to do that?
You know this song that said, no matter where you go, I think the road that leads you back home. That song, I don't know if you know the song, but it has to be a mix of everything because I want him to experience different cultures, different life. And then that's why I was like, this is the best place to get that. So you can experience life. You can see things, see different cultures, see different people, know different languages, experience life in a different viewpoint from what I am used to or what the father is used to.
You are
When that
used
time
to
comes, you
one.
have a mix of everything.
Yeah, you are used to one way. Your dad also use one way, so you want multiple ways.
Yes, you'll be used to everything. The people. Scotland is really very beautiful. The people, the food, the language.
I love the food. I love the food. So are there any values or stories passed down from your own mom? I mean, that you cherish and you want to pass along to generations to come, to your newborn?
So one of the values that I have learned from my mother's side is that family is important. My mom and her siblings, they are so connected and they're so united. And it's important that we teach our children that family is really important because there's no word to put it, but family is really, really important. Being there for your sibling or someone that has been so dear to you is what I want to teach my baby. And that baby should like them to be kind to everybody because you don't know what someone is going through at that moment. But being a family, make sure that no matter what you do, you always can open up to your family and tell them this is what they are going through because family is important.
Yeah.
Whether it's far or near, wherever you find yourself, family is honestly key. And that's how I have grown into. That's what I've grown into rather.
So it's good to create family whether you are at home in your home country or you are within the host country. Get a family, get a community that you can grow your baby and also grow yourself because you are not also an island. You can't learn everything all by yourself, but you need other people to get along with you. So, but if you look at the future of motherhood, now, what are you most looking forward to experiencing with your child as they grow?
I think first day in school, I think I will cry because it would mean that I've doing an amazing job. Or but actually, when my baby clocks 1 year, my baby is 9 months now, and in January will be 1 year, and I'm so pumped up.
Pumped up for the party.
Ha! I will go and find money. I must turn up because it's not easy. 1 year rather. It's a whole lot. And no, mothers are trying. Mothers are
Yeah, I
going through
get
a lot.
a lot.
Balancing, going back to work with no.
Would you
People
say?
don't talk about it enough.
So would you say motherhood is the hardest job in the whole world?
What could be harder? Honestly, what could be harder? Like, I think the first time I resumed back, I cried. I was in tears. I told myself, "You're going to leave your baby. Are you sure you want to do that?" It's honestly the hardest job, honestly, because the guilt when I give someone my baby to carry my baby for me for a while when I'm doing something, I'm like, my baby's safe. Because the world is not a safe place as compared to, like, I've heard stories of baby sitters, trying to abuse and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm always, on the lookout. I'm always screaming with holding my baby. I'm like, who's that one? Do I know you? At some point, my mom was like, I love my grandchild. What is that? I'm like, mommy, no, please don't hold my child like that. No. What do you hold him like this? He was so tired of me. But honestly, a big shout out to every mother out there. They're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
No, it's a big deal. It's honestly a big deal, honestly.
You've made mention of a specific milestones that you can't wait to share with you. So what is the other milestone you can't wait to share with your baby?
I think when he starts walking, honestly, that's like one of the major milestones I'm looking forward to right now. Because he's at that stage, he's trying to stand, move around a bit in the house. Even if it's a big taxing, right? But because he's catching everywhere, because he's crawling now. But then I'm looking forward to him walking. I think I'll be so excited I will cry. Because seeing where I was when I was pregnant, it was a whole different emotion for me. I wasn't sure I was ready to be a mother because I'm still doing Gen Z body. But at the same time, I had to face the whole reality that, I'm not a mom. That means I need to adjust to. It means I need to do. There's some back character I need to drop. You need to be more patient. We need to learn new things, unlearn and unlearn and relearn rather, because it's an ongoing job. We all you make mistakes. You need to admit that this is not going well and stuff like that. You need to just try your best.
For someone who is waiting, what will you say to the person tonight?
I pray that God grants your secret prayers, because I think people that are in waiting is one of the hardest things to do. Because some people tell you that don't worry, you'll be fine. But I pray that God answers your secret prayers and your secret tears, because I had an auntie that's been waiting for a long time, and she gave birth to triplets, and the Bible says at the right time God will make it happen.
That's it.
Do you get?
Yeah.
When is the right time, God will do it for you. As he did it for me, he will do it for you. Just keep on praying.
Amen.
And have that faith.
Parting shots from Peculiar. Let's say Pex speaks. Let me target Pex speaks. What will be your parting shot tonight? Just about 30 seconds.
Follow your instinct. Follow your guts.
Follow your instincts.
Whatever you... Yes, follow your guts. If you know that something is wrong, just follow it. Don't let anybody tell you, you are just paranoid. Follow it.
Follow your instinct. Follow your gut.
Yes.
Follow your motherly instinct. Don't follow your gut.
Yes.
So that is what Pex is saying to mothers with newborn tonight. And on that note, we'll wrap up TouchPoint with Tayo. Pex, thank you so much for coming tonight. It's been a wonderful time with you.
Yes,
and you know how we do it. We'll still meet again.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. So I want to thank all the TouchPoint team and the production crew. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, the backroom team and the research teams, researchers. Thank you for the amazing questions every week. And the social media team. Wonderful, you guys. Thank you so much. And to my listeners and audience, thank you for joining today and every week. We really, really appreciate you for joining. And that is it this week, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week, Next week is even going to be much more powerful. Watch out for the announcement because it will come out early. And as we wrap up the program, we say life's journey unfolds uniquely. Run your race to attract grace, because it is within the race that grace finds its way. I've been your host, Tayo Oweye. Join me next week for another exciting episode on TouchPoint with Tayo. Until then, I wish you a great and happy night rest. Good night.
If they ever found a crack and looked inside, what would they say?